going on, guys? Been gone for a long time. Uh, Needless to say, this winter has not been kind to me. I'm not really going to talk about it, but if you're in the know, you know. If you're not, you don't need to know. So, that'll work. I've been back on the Briars lately, a little bit more than normal. I'm not sure what actually drove me to it, except for the simple fact that I'd been neglecting them for a long time. Having me a little Peter Stokeby luxury twist flake. Which I'm having trouble keeping lit for right now. I overpacked the bowl. It happens. I forgot how shallow this pot was. My Galabura pipes, I actually don't think he's still making pipes. I wasn't able to find him on Instagram, which is where I won this pipe from. I'm drinking a little Holy City Pluff Mud, a rare little treat that I only normally get to get about once a year. So that's pretty much that. I've been stuck on the Virginias lately, um, and not just a little bit. Ever since last summer, I guess. Virginias and dark fireds. I've actually kind of strayed away from the my typical English blends that I go into, in favor of Virginias. There we go, winning. I don't know. I guess the milder, sweeter flavor of just it's what's taken off for me. The dark fired Kentuckys, though, I've started getting into those quite a bit lately too. And I stumbled across Newminster's Superior Round. Uh, First time I ever had it. In case any of y'all didn't know, I normally do one, maybe two, like sometimes three big tobacco purchases. And when I say big, it's probably small compared to some of the people in the community. And about once a year, I spend about $100 in tobacco. Get some stuff for the cellar, get some stuff for me, and then sometimes I'll do some smaller stuff uh, throughout the year to keep the smoking supply handy. But I'm a little overstocked right now, so I'll be burning down that stuff for quite some time. Um, Sorry, I'm moving some stuff out of the way here. But the Superior Round, uh, I was really surprised by it, and I got it because HH Darkfire really turned me on to the Darkfire tobacco, and I've got the Bluefin Piper to thank for that one. And I got started on it, and it was a little drier than I expected. I honestly thought that I might have gotten a bum batch, but apparently that's just kind of the way it is. And man, that stuff, you gotta smoke it slow. If you don't, it burns hotter than the fires of hell. It actually gator skinned the inside of my pipe, uh, and I had a decent layer of cake in it too. So I really had to slow down on it. I might make it almost purely a meerschaum smoke because kind of hard to overrun or kind of hard to burn meerschaum. So and when I say kind of hard, I mean it's almost impossible. And I say almost impossible because I'm sure you guys have seen the little meerschaum on my Instagram page, the little dragon claw. It's got a really short shank on it. The problem with that is they got this They got the Teflon tenon fitting in it, the threaded fitting. Yeah, I burned a dry English a little bit too hot, and that wound up melting the tenon a little bit, which is no bueno. I had to get in there and level it back out with a knife because I had a bunch of stuff just building up on the rolled edge there. But things are finally starting to look up for me, which is a really good deal. I'm happy that they've taken an upturn because I don't know how much more down the dark path it could have gone before it got really bad, but it's starting to look up again. I think a little vacation, which is what I'm on right now, is going to help. Is helping exponentially. Get out of there. I got a Snoopy dog. He has a bad habit of getting into stuff he's not supposed to get into. So, I haven't really had a whole lot of people tune in on this one. Can't say I'm too horribly surprised. I've been away for a while. It's not like I have people chomping at the bit to see my next video. And, yeah, that's okay. But I was hoping I'd get a little Q&A type session. Hear y'all's thoughts. Let you hear my thoughts on those thoughts. So far, it looks like it's just me and the two people that popped in for a few seconds. That's okay, though. I've been playing a lot of chess with Yardism lately. He's a monster on the chessboard. I actually gave him a run for his money on the last game. I think this game I let him get his queen in my backfield a little bit too early, and there's a little bit of havoc to be wreaked back there. And now it's unfortunate we are both queenless. But such is the game, right? Better to both be queenless than to let your opponent have a queen and you not have one. But it's been my experience that on the chessboard, a lot of people rely way too much on the queens. And it's not a bad thing because it is a really valuable piece, and it's easily the most versatile. But people rely too heavily on it, you got yourself a target. If you don't rely too heavily on it, that can make things really interesting because everybody's going to assume that your queen is the target to get. Period. But if you actually rely on, say, like your knights or your bishops, more so than your queen, it can be very, very advantageous to use that queen to lure everything into a position for your knights, rooks, bishops, pawns, whatever, to take advantage of the situation. Well, Yardism's got a good counter for that. He doesn't let me breathe long enough to get anything into position. Which keeps it interesting because if you're winning all the time, it's no fun. If you're losing all the time, it can still be fun. You're learning a lot. And you do better and better and better until you inevitably beat them. So, that's always a good deal. But I'm going to cut the video off here. And I will talk to you guys next time.